robot. I can be another robot.
I can be someone who actually is charismatic. I haven't done a character like that yet, but hopefully one day when I feel that I can actually do it.
All of my characters are charismatic because I enjoy having the actual power to tell people what to do, and they listen instead of just telling me to shut up and that I don't know what I'm talking about.
People pay me to tell them what to do and they still don't listen.
God, yeah, but then that's their fault, and you get paid for it. I don't get paid,
Sure.
and I get told to shut up.
That's not as much fun.
Oh, certainly is not.
None of my characters are charismatic, but they are
Your
intimidating.
characters can like teleport and you have a ghost self.
Yes. They're good at being intimidating. They're not good at being charismatic.
Really, where's the line? Where's the line? Terrifying, charismatic, it's real. They overlap.
Carolina has a mask to make her more terrifying, by the way. I haven't attuned to it yet. And I had to get off the road because this shit got super windy.
Yeah, I had to drive to Corpus today, and we almost got blown off the road in a fucking regular car. I can't imagine what you're dealing with.
Yeah, I'm 65,000 pounds right now. Getting tossed
Oh,
around.
fuck that. Fuck every single bit of it.
Yeah, and then I got a warning that I didn't even make it out of Texas. I'm in Clarendon, whatever. I had to shut down because this weather is just getting worse and worse. I'm seeing tornadoes popping up all over the place.
Yeah.
And I just saw a guy at the last truck stop I was at who had a blown tire, and he was like, "Yeah, just came from Amarillo, and it's hailing sheets of ice, and that's what blew my tire."
Has anyone else read Revelation?
Yeah, I'm like 30 minutes away from Amarillo. So
Read Revelation? Yeah, I read the Bible for fun.
Hey, same. I feel like we're getting close to that. Like, we're not far away. I feel like the Four Horsemen are kind of competing right now, and they're all neck and neck.
Look, man,
I learned recently that some people believe that Revelation has already happened.
Those people are silly gooses. I do like that theory as a philosophical idea, but they are silly gooses.
I think that if you take the Bible and look at it from an objective point of view, it's just like a book, rather than like something to like live by. I think that it's a very interesting book, but also it's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
the Maw is coming.
The Maw is coming, and everybody gets swallowed. I don't like that. I'm rephrasing that.
You know, honestly,
I enjoyed it. I was holding on to it.
I'd appreciate the boon to find out that I'm actually the son of a demigod rather than just.
All right, who let Percy Jackson in here?
Guy. Dude, no. Do you think about first off? Fuck you. Think about how sick that'd be.
Yeah, well, I'm part of a nomadic warrior priest tribe that is dedicated to protecting the higher priestly tribe and killing anyone who tries to stop us. I don't want to have to deal with that. That sounds terrifying.
Unfathomable power. Anything in the living space.
That means anyone with the last name Cohen, I have to protect and kill anyone who wants to hurt them, as long as they're still Jewish. That's exhausting. Do you know how many people named Cohen there are?
Just kill them.
I'm not allowed.
Spacebook say
that sounds
bad.
like the opposite of the mission.
So anyway, last time on Critical Role.
Spacebook say bad.
Can you guys hear the rain?
Yeah,
no.
Right outside.
Oh, me too, yeah.
Agua is a great god.
It's raining all the way across Texas.
Not in Corpus Christi, it ain't.
Fuck you.
Oh, it will be.
It's windy. It's windy as fuck.
Yeah, that's because the fucking hurricane hasn't reached. God, I cannot wait. No, what I was actually going to say, I don't know why I said that. What I was going to say though is I was sitting here like waiting for the session to start. And I had my feet up against my wall, and then all of a sudden fucking thunder, and I felt it all the way through my feet. I was like, wow, I think we're fucked. Uh-oh.
It's fine.
We're all fine. I'm in danger.
You okay, Bailey? It sounds like you're about to give us the weather report in the middle of a hurricane.
For real though. Oh, can you hear it?
Yeah, it's real bad. Live, coming to you from I don't know.
The middle
where
of
in
bumfuck
Arlington-
nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bailey with the weather. How are you looking
Well-
down there, Bailey?
Well, it's fucking dark and windy as shit, and I went out to smoke a cigarette earlier, and I went underneath the porch where they keep the lawnmower, and I was still being leaked on because that's a really old shack kind of a thing. But my jeans are still wet. Also, my bird is very scared. The canary in the gold mine, you might even say. You probably can't even hear him because he's very small. Yep.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. It's fucking windy.
Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
More
sure.
ready.
Okay. So we last left off. You're in Kronos Locus Warpus, inside of the Feywild in the Valley of Nine. You went to the Temple of Time Tavern, the only tavern run entirely by robots, and you met the champion of Mechanus, who is, let me see if I can find his name here. Yes, that's Ildor Avarice.
Avarice.
Yes, Ildor Avarice. And he said that he could give you guys some prototypes that he's not planning on patenting if you want to go into the library that he has been able to create and then stabilize to look at basically the fabric of the universe in a comprehensible format. You guys can go farther than he can because you won't, even if you get lost, you will just disappear when you go to sleep in the library. So if you come back to this area of the Valley of Nine, you can tell him what he saw and then he will give you the stuff. Are we
Sounds
still
good.
wanting to do that, or do we want to go do something else?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm down.
Okay.
Let's do it.
He tells you that, or he told you earlier even, that he's been trying to imagine librarians to try and get a somebody who would know the library, but since he doesn't know the library, that isn't going well because it's kind of based on his imagination of what it should look like. And so he warns you there's not just books in there anymore.
What?
Yes. He's like, I haven't seen them, but like the deeper in that you go, you can kind of hear like a skittering, like it's footsteps, but I haven't seen them, so they haven't attacked me yet or anything. I mean, even if they would, I don't know. They might just be old ladies in sweaters, but they haven't shown themselves to me yet, so...
Uh-huh.
That is horrifying.
So what are you giving us for killing these monsters for you?
I mean, I'm a robot expert, so I could give your friend, who I'm still not over the fact that you're sentient. I've been trying to make sentient robots for, I don't know, a really long time. Oh, wait, I actually do know. It's been 25 years, 4 hours, and 10 minutes. But yeah, it's just a few useful things I have lying around, but they've kind of been done already, so I'm not really, I have a lot of things I've invented and then trying to give to the world, but still pay my bills with it, so to speak. But I just have a couple things around that I think would be useful to you, useful to anybody really, but they're just not original.
I mean, I'm in. Are y'all in?
Yes.
What's the worst that happens? The most squishy of us dies?
Is that
Yeah.
right now?
No, that'd be Gray.
Ah,
But he comes back. He's good. Wait,
So
would he
Gray's-
come back here?
Oh shit.
Feywild. He's Fey. Would he come? Leo, keep Gray safe just in case.
yeah, I guess he'd just go to, I don't know, his tree trunk hollow
He'd be
and
free.
He'd be
Well,
free.
Gray is in a Pokeball that takes him to the Feywild. Wouldn't we just
He's
run
gonna
into
give
him
a
here?
sign.
be 2 grays at once. Paradox.
Oh god.
Oh.
Please don't show Bastion.
This is how we get like the Matrix. We break through. We see 2 Grays at once.
Yeah.
Open your eyes, Neo. He's beginning to see.
Neo, what do your elf eyes see?
Oh my god. Yeah,
Well, season
Neo,
two's sort of
Leo.
our line.
Oh my god, this was the plan from the start.
Yeah, we're gonna switch to EOE at the end of this. Same characters, just awakened. So we're going to a library. We're gonna punch some skittering things, and then we get cool, nifty, unoriginal stuff.
Yes.
That sounds fantastic.
Okay. He says, all right, so it's the shelves are kind of circular. Do you guys have, like, lights and stuff? Because it's kind of dark in there.
We
I
have
look at him and flare my head a bit, like...
Oh, yeah, right,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Told me a torch last time and forget that I made a fire.
Well, good luck. I'll see you if you come back here.
I'm gonna wait. No, we'll keep the sending stones for now. We'll do it later.
I can always cast daylight in there too.
I'm gonna kind of look at him and just say, why would you, the champion of mechanists, say if instead of when? Give us a little bit of hope, just for
Well, I can't see in the future. I just keep careful track of things as they turn into the past.
Hopeful? You'd think you'd be hopeful. Haven't things been getting better?
Better in what?
I'm kidding.
In what
Everything's
way?
getting worse. Don't worry. We're all gonna die. All right, let's go.
Well, technically, time never stops, so yes, we all will die eventually. Okay.
Time isn't real. It's figurative.
It is very real. I will argue with you with this all day. My God made time real, alright?
Fires rage eternal if never put out. Hale's not smart enough to keep this conversation going.
It's gonna run out of fuel eventually. It will go out.
That's just like your opinion.
Okay, buddy. Just remember, if you panic and get lost, just go to sleep.
Bastion, we can back you.
Yes, that was the plan.
He leads you to... It's inside the Temple of Time, which is a building where... It's a steampunk person's wet dream. Everything is brass or, like, ticking, and you see... what is that? Delomators? Demolators? You know the weights that go around and then rewind springs and things?
Dumbwaiters.
Dumbwaiters, thank you. It's a lot of hallways and then a grand chamber with... At first glance, it's just like a random pile of gold and silver scrap. But then as you get closer, it's a gigantic clock, predictably. And it's just the most intricate thing you could ever seen. And you realize that every second or so, there's like a tiny pulse in the bottom of your shoes as you realize this thing's ticking, 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 ticking. You see it, however, it has the same effect that the clocks in the tavern had, where it occasionally skips a second, or like you see even the hands reverse and then go back. So it's still, while a temple to mechanists, it is still kind of affected by Feywild magic, much to Ildor Avarice's annoyance. But he leads you to a smaller side room where there's a bunch of equipment you probably haven't seen anywhere other than like August's lab. Machines with sort of blinking lights, crystals powering things with, you know, dubious wiring around the crystals to this, and you see a shimmering kind of field in front of you, and Ildor Avarice puts his hand into a slot in one of these machines, and he says, I won't need to be here the whole time, I just need to charge it. And he holds onto it for a minute, and this shimmering sort of force field opens up, and you can see inside a dark hallway, and just through the edges of the force field you can see the first of the books inside of the library.
Do the books seem like just normal books?
From what you can see out here, yeah. They're all kind of uniform as well. You see golden inscriptions with, like, titles, sort of. It's not quite years, but it's sort of marked by things that happened near when this happened, because this is a library of when time is stretched, so it wouldn't make sense to put dates on anything. I'm trying to think of a real-life event in here without looking at my history. The fourth time the Tarask rose. Like, you see that on one of the books from out here.
I was so worried you were about to say that it was like the people's souls and we're going to just see names and their birth dates, deaths.
No. This isn't the Wanderer's Library from SCP-Universe, though it is close.
Yeah.
SCP-782.
Yeah.
Is that the guy who never dies because he has a giant demon in himself and then the series never finished? So I guess we just walk over, kind of pop in while he's doing that. Also, I'm going to keep an eye on the Troublesome, too, to make sure they don't try and touch any crystals or gears or shiny things.
Yeah, you can...
That's... Okay. SCP-72, ironically enough, is actually it's the bookworm.
Nice.
That's so fucking trippy. Oh, that was... I didn't even know that.
You're psychic.
No, stop. I don't like that.
Their powers are awakening as the end times get nearer.
Fuck.
It's,
Yeah. A single finger on the monkey paw curls. I'm gonna walk and make sure that the two troublesome ones don't steal anything.
Okay.
I'm gonna turn to the champion and just say, does the inside layout change?
The parts that I haven't mapped do, but the parts that I have mapped do not, because I can fully imagine them. The parts that I haven't seen shift because I don't know what's in them.
Isn't this Europe live? Yep.
What was
Are you
that?
expecting us to be able to get out?
No, I just want you to go as far as you can and kind of keep track of where you go. So when you come back and tell me what it was like, then I'll have mapped that part of the library and it'll be solid after that. Just you guys can get farther than I can because I'm worried about getting lost, while you guys, even if you get lost, you can just go to sleep and be fine.
It is lucky for you that I have a perfect memory and an impeccable sense of direction.
You have a perfect memory?
Yes.
Like photographic or something?
Yes. I can remember everything for the past month down to the most minute detail.
Well, you are a construct.
Yes,
A
created by
sentient
God
one.
himself.
Wait, did we talk about you being created by Gons last time? Because this guy would kind of freak out.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like, wait, what do you mean? Why is Gon talking to people?
Right, okay. I'm still like 3 episodes behind on editing.
No, it's all good. I remember I consolingly said, well, you were going up against the, creation god, so don't feel too bad about getting beat.
Yeah. So do you guys enter the library? And he would, I guess since you have a perfect memory, Bastion, he would show you the parts that he has already mapped. That way you can start somewhere new. But yeah, are you guys ready?
Yeah, I'll go in. I'll take lead just in case weird happens.
Okay.
I'm right behind light switch over here.
Light switch?
I'm gonna flare my head a little bit. I'll make it blue light, not as soft in the eyes, but it doesn't spread as much, so it's a little more together. That's what they use backstage for shows.
Whatever works for you.
Yep.
Okay. So you travel through the parts that he has already mapped and then go to a sort of new section. And kind of as you turn the corner into it, you see the library, you see these shelves, by the way, are probably 50 feet tall. There are like ladders, ladders that slide around on a rail in super old fancy libraries. There's those. Other than pale and I guess, yeah, just pale, it's pretty dark in here.
I can see in the dark.
Oh, you can? Well, still.
Yeah.
I think you all can except Carolina, right?
Yep.
Okay.
He's behind me anyway.
You do have the drift club. And so you just, it's kind of uneventful unless you guys want to stop and look at any of the books on your way.
I would like to try and find a book about the song for my flute.
Oh. Make an investigation check. And it's gonna have to be really high, because there's millions of books in here.
There's
Can I
not a
assist?
decimal system?
There is not.
There was no time.
Oh my god.
Can I
That'll be an
assist?
18.
An
Ooh,
18.
18.
+5 to that.
+5? Why?
Flash of genius.
Oh.
I got 3 more uses
Okay.
for the day.
So that's what then?
Pray I don't need
23?
23.
23, yeah.
Okay. In these books, you find a fuckload of times that wizards have used to spell time stop. You find texts on the emergence of dunamancy, which is mostly only possible in the zone of Mechanus and Hierophant, which was created during the crisis because of the time god's presence that is still there. It's kind of residue from when he was shunted onto the material plane during that event. You read a lot of stuff that sounds like prophecies, and it's kind of hard to make sense of. Once elves started coming into the material plane, the time skips in the Feywild got more frequent, and especially as material plane natives started going there. When Tiamat was locked into the 9 Hells, there was a huge time skip anomaly created there. During the time of the crisis, when Mechanus was ejected into the from the celestial plane to the material plane, there were time inconsistencies everywhere that had like a ripple effect, and then some ripples from this have little minor echoes to this day. But even a little bit before the crisis, the ripples have started to spread there. And so you learn that history is kind of changing and people aren't even realizing it, because it's things are being rewritten, and this is the library of where it records everything when it is rewritten. You find texts from before Mechanus even materialized, because he only came about when sentient mortal creatures were formed by their respective gods. This time before Mechanus is like an absolute fucking nightmare. If I could only talk. It's an absolute nightmare to decipher, because before then, pretty much all the gods could manipulate time a bit, because it wasn't even a concept back then. You learn that occasional cases of the True Resurrection spell draw upon time manipulation. Wish has been used several times to reverse and right time. There are plenty of stories of people getting stuck in loops, or people having to go on whole quests to fix something that has been wrong because of a wish spell. Teleport, Word of Recall, Dimension Door, Plane Shift, basically any supernatural movement spell, time-specific spell, or things moving between planes slightly stretches the fabric of time. You do not, however, find anything about the song.
Damn. At least I found some neat info.
Just gonna try and look for anything about the world having ended. Anything that looks like the world ending, but not prophecy.
Okay.
So I'm gonna talk about it more in past tense.
Make an investigation check.
Oh. That is a...
Oh, damn.
22.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't expecting a crit. I was expecting to make you guys walk around in circles for a while. But
hey, I can still fail.
No. Yeah, so you find a book. You're kind of traveling through, getting to the place where it's starting to be recorded. You know, you guys walk for like an hour or so, and you find there's kind of a nexus of shelves where there's kind of there's 4, like a split of 4 shelves that make a kind of central area, and in this central area there stands a podium, and there's a large book under a glass box. The brass plaque on the box says Instances of the Clock. And if you go over to read this book, and by the way, there's like a light overhead here, kind of hung in nothing, because it's not like a ceiling. Just there's a light shining down on this, which is probably what made it easy to find. On this page reads, he created the clock to mark the first zeptosecond, and wore it on his wrist, keeping time and showing the mortals how to view and measure his creation. He allowed the Dawn Maker to view the clock to set the pace of the sun. The clock was first tampered with by the Resurrected One. The clock was wound once more after the crisis. The clock was broken and the gears scattered when he ascended once again. The clock repaired in the Great Reset, the largest instance of rewriting. When the father had chosen his son, abandoning the author with much heartache, the mother stayed with the author and served him without his blessing. On the eve of the Resurrected One's rise, the mother sacrificed the father and son and raised the monster, the World Eater. All was lost in the plain. It took 17 days, 5 hours, 40 minutes, and 11 seconds. The monster alone roamed the world, scouring for food when nothing was left but dust and water. The gods put all to sleep, to wait, to hide. But it was a matter of time until the World Eater found a way to eat them too. The fear, the curiosity, the gunslinger, the cleric, the Dane, and the noble warrior awoke. The Phoenix sent them on their task. They fought the Reaper's right hand and found the cogs of the clock. With his watch, they stopped the Mother, and the World Eater was never made. All of it undone, and none of it remembered. The gunslinger, the cleric, the Dane, the noble warrior went on to fight the Resurrected One. The clock remains on the material plane and has not been used since, though Istis has prophesied this great tool's necessity again in the time of the Great Convergence. And I'll copy and paste all that, in case you didn't catch it.
Thanks.
Sure.
I kind of look at the others and say, so... you guys think that the Resurrected One was Vecna, or you think the Maw is the... somehow this makes more sense than Father Michael's prophecy, and I don't like that.
Well, because this isn't prophecy, it's history.
Like the Great Wheels of
history
the Clock.
repeats
This is...
itself.
Exactly.
So doesn't that make it a prophecy?
Pretty much. That's terrifying. I guess it's... So if the Maw has been stopped before, but not stopped, just put to sleep, is the best we can do to put it to sleep? Bastion.
Yes.
Gond created everything and you, right?
To my knowledge, yes.
Are there two others that it was... Do you have a mom?
I am unsure.
Is your mom gonna sacrifice you and Gond to bring them all? Is that how it starts?
I do not... That does not make sense, because the Maw is already coming.
Oh, I know the Maw's coming. I know the Maw's coming.
Yes, I am sorry to remind you.
Fear. Hey, Leo?
Yes.
Does Lord Fear have anything that he took? Carolina?
Yes.
Bailey, insert Carolina's god name here.
Vivian.
Have any idea? That's it. Vivian, why?
I mean, I could try and ask.
No, don't. That's probably a bad idea. We've seen what happens when we talk to gods. I'm just gonna... I'm gonna have a little panic attack over here. I'm just gonna take a little sit down.
Would you like some star sugar?
I have plenty. I'm just gonna stick with what's something that I can just I'm just gonna kind of chew on a little bit of this dragon liver and hope it calms me down a little bit. The metallic taste soothes me. So I was just gonna have a little sit down.
It is about this time you hear distantly a skittering noise.
What would
I would like to see where it's coming and see if I can see anything.
Okay, make a perception check.
13.
It's kind of echoing because the shelves are kind of packed together. Really, they're about 15 foot apart from each other, but they're so tall and kind of loopingly circular that it makes a horrible echo, and you can't see really more than around the corner of the next curve in the shelves.
Okay. If everybody doesn't mind, I am going to shed some light on this situation.
Please.
Okay. I'm gonna cast Daylight. I'm gonna cast it on my axe.
Okay.
So that it moves around with me. 60 feet, 60-foot radius.
Yeah, you can see all the way up to the highest shelf in here, but you still really can't see further than the bounds of the curves in front of you as the shelves themselves block off your vision.
I'd like to
That's
cast
all right.
see invisibility.
Okay, you don't see anything.
Okay. It's preparatory.
Okay.
Alright. Now I'm actually going to actively look for whatever's running around.
Okay.
I would also like to do that.
Are we leaving the clock book, or are we staying here?
I'm going to stay within shouting distance, but, walk around some corners.
We could just take it.
Would we, though? I feel like Mechanus and Tyr and Power are stealing souls. Leo, hey, Bastion and I are going to turn our backs. When we turn back around, the book better be there, okay?
Oh.
Also, I may have forgotten to close my backpack.
Yeah, so I'm going to go walk a few paces away. Okay?
I am going to look at this other shelf and not look at you.
It is a nice shelf.
Okay. Fucking weirdos.
I'm going to whisper to Leo, I think they want you to take the book.
Yes.
No. What? Yes. Do it.
I
Okay.
think that the champion of Mechanus could just create another version of the book. It is not as though by taking this book, the past would change.
I'm going to take it and throw it in the bag.
Okay. Yeah, you lift off the glass case and
Yeah,
pull
what
the
the
book
hell?
up and throw it in. You hear, as soon as that happens, you hear significantly more skittering.
Oh, no.
Put the book back. Put the book back. Put the book back.
Nope, don't do it. Well, it's too late now. We've already gone this far.
I just want to see what happens. Put the book back.
Everyone make
Don't
me
say it.
perception checks.
Okay, I thought you were going to say
Can I
What
do
am I
this
not elf
passively?
I see? Because I have better eyes than elves.
Can I do this
mind.
passively?
Not with that wisdom score you got.
I don't think you could, but you can certainly, maybe.
A 19 for me.
19
Can
for
I
me
do this?
also.
Can I do this passively, and then that would be a 19?
Yeah. You guys hear skittering from above. Something is on top of the shelves above you. Can you all see my map?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, it sounds like it's coming from, up here and up here.
Okay, I am going to collapse into Bastion, say, hold me up, and I'm going to project myself into my echo and go up to the top of the shelves.
Okay. You see, I'm using spiders to represent them, though they don't actually look like spiders. You see, librarians. They are awful, writhing creatures with many, many arms, and those glasses on a chain around their chests. You might have even heard of driders, the drow that get turned into
Oh,
the half
shit.
spiders when they disappoint Lolf.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds you of that, except for they're wearing, like, sweaters, and, they have an extra joint on their legs, even more than the spiders do, so they are perfectly suited to navigate this library. However, you have stolen a book, and you've been talking quite loudly. Everyone make me initiative checks, please.
I'm going to explain to them what I'm seeing.
Yeah, like through your...
Yeah. Well, I can talk, I just can't hear anything or see.
21.
Okay.
20.
18.
And I'll roll for the librarians.
A strong word to call them.
You know...
They're not
For
the hot
reasons.
ones either.
No.
They're really not.
No, they're...
You got the old
Well,
ones.
actually, you know.
Nope, they're old.
Okay. As they see you, Carolina, and you tell your friends what's happening, let me go get it. Hold on.
And I don't know how loud I said it.
Yeah. They cast silence over the group in these two little areas. So with silence, you can't really use verbal spells or tell each other things. So use that when you plan things. Other than that, Leo, you're up.
All my spells are verbal. All my spells are verbal. Because I'm a fucking bard.
Hard warlock moment.
No, fuck.
Charisma caster.
Embarrassing,
no.
honestly.
Embarrassing.
You could also move out of the
Embarrassing.
area where the silence is.
Well, but
That
I don't.
makes
Do
no
I,
sense.
do I know where the silence is? It's not like it's visible, is it?
Let's look.
No, it is not.
Oh, okay. Well, you are suddenly unable to speak as Carolina says, "Oh my god, there's fucking... What do you... How would you describe these, Carolina? I don't want to put words in your mouth."
Well, but I also.
Oh, I was explaining exactly what you said. But you got sweater wearing spider-like bitches.
What was that, Leo?
I also rolled a 19, so I can also see them.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
Yeah, you see them as
Right.
they're creeping over the edge or something.
Blech, gross.
Yeah, I'm up there with it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
you know
and
what does it
realize
require?
You can't... What?
Well, shit. To command them, I would need to speak.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to. What I'm gonna do? Because, like, besides casting silence on us, they haven't done anything. They're just creepy.
Well, as you can see them with a 19, I think you can see that they hold one of their hella long, spindly legs up to their mouth. You know when you put your finger in front of your lips, tell someone to shush? Also, they are glaring at you with red-hot rage in their eyes. How about this even? You hear them all say, "That book is overdue."
Not if we're in silence.
Oh, you
We
can't
hear shit.
Oh, okay. Well, you do, Carolina. Because you're up there.
Yeah, but I can't tell anybody that.
Yeah, they don't look
going to-
happy, Leo.
I'm just gonna apologize. I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna put my hands like, I'm so sorry. And I'm gonna be like, put the finger on my mouth and be like, and point to me like, me shush, yes. And then like see if that calms them down.
Okay. Make me a persuasion check.
Haha, a natural 20, and on persuasion I have a +8. So a natural 20 + 8. You don't have to let me succeed. You
No,
don't.
Who has the book again?
We put it in my backpack.
Okay, they're looking right at you, Bastion, and they kind of tap their front legs on the shelf, and then point at where the book was.
Okay, so I heard them say this.
Yes.
So I'll go back into my body and I'll take the book out and put it back on the shelf.
Is everyone else down with this?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Yes.
They
I trust thievery experts on when to thieve.
dispel their silence, and they slowly creep away, and you see them walk backwards to where they're on the backs of the shelves and they're away from you guys.
I'm going to whisper to the group, we need to be quieter.
You guys couldn't hear me? I was trying to tell you
Take
to
one
put
off
the
the shelf.
book back.
No, they appeared to cast some sort of deafening or silencing spell on us.
Oh, I was out here cussing and everything. Like, what's going on? My hands aren't moving. Okay, so now what? Perfect memory? Can you just kind of skim through the book and see what you can remember?
Yes. I'd like to pretty much just read as much as I can.
Okay.
I think I. Yeah, no, I'll just read it.
I'm trying to think of what else would be in here. Because I don't know why I didn't anticipate you guys just taking it with you.
I'm just gonna again try and take a different book off the shelf just to see what happens.
Okay. You take it off, but as long as you... Okay, you take it off the shelf, nothing happens.
Start putting it in my bag. Huh?
How do we get a library card?
I'll ask them when they come back.
Yeah, you start to put it in your bag, and you hear the skittering.
Put back.
I'm just gonna hold it, hold it near the shelf. Like, how do we get library cards?
Make a persuasion check.
Please be a 1. Damn it!
What
That's a
the
19.
fuck? It's a natural 20 is what it is.
It's
So-
funnier if it's the -1.
The librarian, you see them crawl over and back over one of the shelves, and they crawl toward you, and, really, really goddamn creepy. And they come up, and they say, because there is no front desk, I can issue you library cards here. And they pull out from their pocket like a business card thing of like laminated little cards. And they say, what's your name?
I am Hawk.
Make a deception
Hawk
check.
Bucket.
Make a deception check.
Now I'm gonna get the 1. Oh, okay, 14. Wait, is it 14 or... I forget if I with deception. Okay, yeah, it was 14.
Okay, you literally passed by 1 point. They write Hawk Bucket on a piece of paper, and then kind of like with the spider, like where the web is, they kind of wrap this paper over a couple times with the web and then smooth it out so it's official, and then they hand it to you.
Ooh, can I take that shiny book?
It says books. I'm trying to... What would be... Hold on.
I think I broke the DM.
Books are due back after 51 days.
It's easy enough. I'll absolutely have it back.
Okay. She says, go ahead.
What are the
What's
late
today?
fees?
The late fees?
Yes. Just in case. What happens? What happens if we aren't able to bring it back in that time?
You see this, abomination of imagination. Kind of think about it for a minute. It's the library card thing. Was this librarian, though their purpose is to know everywhere in the library, they haven't actually ever spoken to anyone in before. They just know that they're able to. And so they go, late fees. Late fees. You must provide another book for every week that it is late to grow the library.
I still have the copy of Father Michael's prophecy.
You do. I think you...
I gave a copy to someone else. But not like the copy, but I gave a copied
Yeah,
version.
you gave a copy to Gorvnall, didn't you?
Yeah. Little G.
Yeah.
Demoted from Big G. He's been demoted.
He's demoted, yeah.
I'm going to take that book out and look up at them and say, can we do a swap right now? A trade.
They hold out one of their horrible pointy legs for you to hand them the book.
Do we trust them? Do I trust them?
Sure.
Okay.
They seem benign enough.
I hand them the prophecy of Father Michael.
I trust the spider librarians.
Is this the original or the copy?
Oh, this is the original.
Oh. Okay.
If we're gonna take the Mechanist book, I'll give them this.
Okay. She reads it over and kind of flips through the pages with a long claw. And you can see a bit... her eyes are black, but they start to grow with a little bit more blackness as she is absorbing this text and flipping through it. Kind of like how you just flip through a phone book, but she You get the sense that she's read the whole thing in like 30 seconds. And she closes it and says, I will have a copy made for this library. You should keep the original. But this will make a wonderful addition to the library. The possibilities in this text will be able to get a head start on creating new books about the changes in time.
A little bit of like really bad smelling steam rises from Pale's pants.
Nice.
It's like, yeah, we're gonna check out the big shiny book.
It tells of times before. Before.
It also tells the times coming.
And after.
You're incredibly intelligent and horrifying.
Thank you. Do you require anything else? Does anyone else want a library card?
I would like
Yes.
one.
Okay, she makes you all library cards. Do you give her your real name, or are we going to lie like Pale did?
I say Bastion, son of Gond.
Nice. You're gonna lie, Leo?
Carol Baskin.
Yeah.
Carol. Okay, those of you who are lying, go ahead and roll me deception checks. Having fun isn't hard with an eldritch library card.
Come on down to Mechanus's Feywild Library. We got spider librarians, horrifying book prophecies, and free Wi-Fi.
And
Free Wi-Fi. Yeah, I love that. I'm coming through.
there's a coffee shop on the first floor.
So
Everyone
I
who works there
rolled-
is dead.
So I rolled a nat 1, but I have a plus 12 in deception.
All right.
I'd like to use, for the first time ever, an item I've had since the very beginning, and use the clockwork amulet that I have. So you rolled a 10 for that, Leo.
I rolled a 10?
Yeah.
So you got a 22 instead.
Fuck yeah, thanks, man.
Nope.
I got
Wait.
an 11.
Carolina, did you... I gave you my friendship medal, right? So if Leo helps you... I thought I gave you the friendship medal.
Nope, I never had a friendship medal.
Well, here, I'm going to give you mine now then, just so you have that, so you and Leo can help each other out. Gives you a +1 whenever two people use it together.
I see what my friendship means to you, bitch.
Yeah, it's something I can
Lying
trade.
down,
It's something I can
dead.
trade. Well, if you hadn't disappeared on us...
We both know there's no helping it.
So that gives me a 12.
Nice. Or no, you'd have, or no, that'd be after this would have been, okay. Yeah, so Carolina, you say Carol Baskins, and she looks at you and says, my name's Carol. But not yours.
Twinsies.
No. There is someone else named Carol Baskins. A murder...
Did I say Baskin? I meant Haskins.
A murder most foul.
Did what happened?
It's killed her husband.
Fed with tigers.
She did. And you, I feel, points at you, Leo, I feel the presence of those creatures upon you.
Yeah.
I meant Haskins, not Baskins. You know, Feywild, they don't want us to give our, we shouldn't give our real name.
Well, you're not in the Feywild. You're in
We're not.
the library inside the Temple of Time. More
Insight check.
specifically, you're in Ildor Avarice's imagination.
What?
I don't want to give him my real name either.
Well, in order to get a library card, you must tell me your real name.
I don't know.
I just get a second card?
I'm just gonna. Hey, do you have anything on the history of Stone Garden?
The history of Stone Garden. You see her think back. Many a mage there has learned to spell time stop in their university. Not as profound as Golgary's, but still there. And then, more recently, At the passing of the two champions in the battle there was a large ripple. Sort of a tear. And then also a knot. As there was... The possibilities of timelines cut short when important things happen. More of them come together than split apart.
Yeah. Okay. Where is that book?
Oh. It's about a quarter mile that way. I'll show you. And you guys start walking.
Awesome.
Okay. And she just leads you through shelves upon shelves upon shelves. You actually even pass a few shelves that are empty, but you keep going. And she leads you back to, the sort of stone garden area. It's, she says, which event are you looking for?
When the mages took over Golgari from the...
Oh, when they took it over from the Stonehammers?
Yes.
It's, there were several. Two of the wizards there. One who went on to be the future mayor, who was killed in the same battle that Glamora Lestern and Stephen Puyo fell. He used Time Stop. There was also another. Then also, many clerics who cast resurrection spells and healing spells to reverse damage. Though in large, other than many split-off directions, the threads of Istis weaving together in the ropes, there was not a significant change in time at that time. Were you looking for something more specific?
Yes. I know it's more time related, and do you have anything on why they took over specifically? What was going wrong there, and what was their reasoning for taking over?
Unfortunately, this library only chronicles skips and stretches in times. You might have more luck at a material plane library, though. Or even perhaps a historical library somewhere else in the Feywild. There are a few in the large elven cities. And elves make great historians, because most of the time they were there.
Oh, okay. That's all I needed.
Do you have books on magical item crafting?
We might. And she leads you over to where she thinks that section would be. She says, the book you read about earlier, The Clock, is of course the most powerful, time-changing instrument created by Mechanus himself for his own purposes. However, there are several others. Tomes that can cast chronomancy spells, that sort of thing. Magic items with those sort of spells stored in them. There are, while rare, wands that can cast Time Stop. Though for creating them, I do not have any. I do not believe.
That is upsetting. But thank you.
Sure.
Are there any spell books in here?
We have copies of many time-affecting spells. Though you'd need a spellbook to copy them into, or a spell scroll with suitable paper and ink to be able to save them. And of course also the knowledge of how to stick these kind of things in books. Though I'm more than happy to show them to you just for education purposes.
Lead the way.
Okay. She leads you to kind of a, you guys walk for about 20 minutes through these circular shelves, and she gets to a sort of section that's, you feel like it's on the edge of the library, and it's more like an archive than it is a, more shelves and shelves and shelves. It's like unbound sheets of paper, like kind of just in reams. And she goes through like file folders to look for it. And she shows you, of course, the a scroll for the 9th level spell, Time Stop. she shows you like a spell scroll for true resurrection, all these other teleport, word of recall, dimension door, plane shift, and then of course wish, which the paper for the wish spell, you can even see on the ink kind of flows and moves around the page as the words rearrange themselves.
I look at Bastion.
Yes.
You get all that?
Let me read. I'll read over it.
Okay. You read over it, and because people learned how to do magic from dragons, so most older, more OG spells, like the runes for them, are in like ye old Draconic, but you are able to look at them all and memorize them photographically, even if you don't speak Draconic. And if you do speak Draconic, you kind of are able to understand it's like reading Latin, trying to read a like a prescription name or something. And it's so if you learn how to copy spells and if you get the materials necessary, you could theoretically make scrolls of this.
Fucking sick.
Mm-hmm.
I just have to find out how to do that now.
Yes.
Which is the hard part.
Mm-hmm.
But it is now possible.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She says, I heard because you wanted the clock text, are you interested in other apocalypses?
Yes.
I thought you might be after the book you showed me.
Do you have a lot of apocalypses? Apocalypse?
Only the ones that were avoided using time magic. Or time warping by other means.
Lean in real close. Like, is she, they, it, he, them, spider pronoun, getting it close to its face? Like, is it at, possible face level?
It's a little taller than you, but if you want to whisper to it...
I'm just going to kind of get real close and just say, are you telling me that apocalypses have happened and then unhappened?
The text, the clock. You read about one. The largest one. The reversal took over 400 years.
I'm just going to kind of... a little signal out to Murky saying, hey, I know that you're not going to respond. Please don't respond. I like being able to say words other than them all, but Murky, they've been shutting you down. Poor baby. They've been apocalypse edging you. I'm so sorry.
Oh my gosh. I need you to shut the fuck up right now, and I need you to apologize.
You finally reached apocalypse, and then they undid it.
Oh my gosh.
Jokes get worse until morale decreases. So Pale's just kind of trying to come to terms with, you can undo the end of the world if someone survives.
That's why it was not a complete apocalypse. There was one creature still on the mortal plane, and many others in the other plane, as the creature could not travel between.
Do we know its name?
I look at Bastion.
The World Eater undid everything.
No. The World Eater was the apocalypse. You read it yourself. The fear, curiosity, gunslinger, cleric, Dane, and the noble warrior are the ones who reverse time after repairing the clock.
You don't happen to know about the Maw, do you?
You see them think, and Bailey's also thinking.
Valid.
We know that it presents a great danger and threat to the continuation of time. As once it eats, as it is prophesied of doing, there won't be any more time. Not here, anyway. Which you can imagine is very problematic and upsetting to us.
Yeah.
This is really familiar to me.
What was that?
So this is eerily familiar to me.
Oh.
It's just...
You ever watch the show Magicians?
Yup.
Yes.
That's why I asked about the lives first.
I have not.
That show is so depressing. If you want a better, happier,
That makes it even worse if you've never seen it.
Oh.
It's so sad. If you want a happier version, watch The Order on Netflix. Much happier than Magician. Magician is just depressing.
Yes.
I like that's why I'm scared of that fox god that just escaped in Japan. Anyway, yeah, Darren, you know what I'm talking about.
The rock broke, right?
Yeah, and there's a specific fox god in The Magicians, which is terrifying. He's not very nice.
Can't wait.
So you can't see the future, just the past and time itself.
We see the present and write it down as it becomes the past.
So like the spider web threads of fate.
Yes. Yes.
I'm guessing no one has really lived that long to make that joke before, huh?
Not that I'm aware, though I am new and, again, only exist in Eldoravis's imagination.
Well, let's go look at some of the other apocalypse.
Okay.
Does the Darkling Curse count in that?
We should look that up first, before the apocalypses.
Let me see. I don't think No, the Darkling Curse didn't involve any time warping, so it wouldn't be in here. And then, however, 4 other apocalypses, she has probably an entire, 100-yard bookshelf that's 50 feet tall of all the times that time was reversed during the crisis, when the Ethereum shard fell to Earth and created Thunderscrum, or the crater that Thunderscrum sits in, just because gods being on the material plane is, super not good. And so things got all wonky, as you know.
As we're doing this, I'm going to look over at Leo and just kind of usher him over and say, hey, Leo, I got a question. You wouldn't lie to me in this sort of apocalypse or not scenario, right?
I mean, you lied to me, so...
If the world would end and one of our mutual friends would potentially be the cause of that, you wouldn't lie about that, right?
Nope, definitely would not.
It's staring his eyes and say, hypothetically, if one of these apocalypses is gonna be like Henry 500 years ago becomes a dark god, and then it was undone several times, you wouldn't hide that, right?
Nope.
Okay, cool. So I want to make sure. Just gonna keep walking behind the spider being.
Okay.
As we're walking, I just want to gaze up at any of the shelves that have anything on it and see if there's anything interesting.
Okay. Make an investigation check.
Yep. That's not 1. That's an 8.
You find a lot of instances about when the Tarrasque rising, because it's the same Tarrasque that just kind of goes to sleep. So when it wakes itself up, it goes back to the same rage state, and you learn that rage state is because it thinks that it's like the same day of it destroying the Earth. So, yeah. It just wakes up pissed off because it got pissed off the first time, and it still thinks that that's the same time, and it's looking for the first person to do that, but they've been dead for, 5,000 years.
Yes, that's about right.
I know when I wake up, I'm pissed off too.
Yo.
Yeah, and luckily...
Woke up again.
The last time...
Another day.
When did the Tarrasque rise last? Where'd it go? Last time it rose was in 1013 Third Era, and it happens about every 500 years, and it's currently... Let me see... 1378. So the Tarrasque isn't gonna rise for another 150 years, so that's cool.
Oh, poor elves.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait to see that.
Oh yeah, poor you.
I mean, the mall will kill us before that happens.
I mean, hey, maybe you'll be, like, just hella old, Pale and Leah.
Oh no,
Maybe.
you don't live that long.
Oh, I thought you lived to be, like, 150 or something.
I think like 70 or no, it might even be shorter.
Don't worry, I'll get you guys some new bodies.
Yeah.
We'll be friends forever.
And you
I
just,
plan on seeing it. I just don't plan on being a part of it.
can I just join you, Bastion? Can we like mold into like together? Fire powers.
I will not allow that.
Fair enough. Try my best.
I plan on being in championhood by then, so.
I plan on just settling down and opening a bed and breakfast with Ash and Erica.
I don't know, something cool you guys figure out is, so, like, I think I've told you guys before, when King James was, like, 20 and realized he had the Ethereum shard inside him, he got kidnapped by these two fucking wizards and they stole him for, like, 30 years. And so they used, like, time-stopping technology to, like, keep him alive that long. And then the 30 years August was looking for him, he used a lot of, like, and, like, they call it the Dark Month, because 30 years went by, but only a month went by in Thunderscram. But, like, it was completely black. They were in a bubble, basically, for a month. And so that bubble was probably the largest kind of, demiplane creation ever, because they used the Ethereum shard to power that spell, so that's why it was able to be that large, which kind of makes the fact that they were able to make a 26 mile diameter place completely isolated from the rest of the material plane through making it significantly slower time-wise than the rest of the material plane. That's kind of scary to know how powerful James is in the right hands.
He just made Wakanda.
Yeah, pretty much.
Use him to power Steven's recovery for years. It's like a big old battery.
There.
August has mentioned that.
People as batteries?
Oh, actually, there's this thing called the Matrix, and I've been having some ideas.
Oh my god. I mean, you guys have fought a wizard who was using souls as batteries, so...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, now we have cute little Yagami.
Yes, Yagami.
Whose body I gotta find.
We'll figure it out. We'll put him into some little robot.
You go in the Shield Guardian.
Then we can call him Sonny. Oh. God, giant child.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
we'll look this whole child.
We can call him Full Metal.
Yes.
That's
So I guess like,
Alphonse, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, nerd.
And the funny part is he's not the Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah, he's...
The Full Alchemist is short.
He's short and just is not even fully metal. He's just got a robot arm and a robot
he's like
metal arm and metal
he's like
leg.
an eighth metal.
Yeah.
Angry.
Yeah, and angry, yeah.
And he tried to kill the president who did nothing wrong.
I think he had a good reason for that, if I'm remembering what little I know about FMA.
He's a politician. He deserves to die regardless.
So true. Down
Rude.
with the bourgeoisie.
Yeah, do you guys look for anything else?
No.
Okay.
Oh wait, I'm gonna ask her about Pan's flute.
Ah,
At this.
it's I think she'd say also, this artifact doesn't really affect time, though with playing the right notes, it has a very soothing effect on natural creatures and organic organisms like plants.
Yes, but what song would make the most soothed? You don't know anything about that, do you?
No, sorry.
So this clock, just one last question, this clock, it undoes time The big clock?
It can stabilize time, reverse time, fast forward in time. It's how Mechanus regulates time. Or how he used to.
And can anyone manipulate it?
Yes.
Interesting.
It is currently in the hands of its last user on the material plane.
And who is that?
The cleric.
Oh my! If someone had a separate demi-plane where they do things outside of time and space, but do you know the name of the cleric? Is it potentially what's his name? Gorfield? Who's the big guy?
Garfield.
No, because Garfield's the one with the hot shorts and the tank tops. I'm thinking like, what's the
August, the
is it
half
August?
giant. That's his name.
Yeah.
No, it is not them. It's the last champion of the Phoenix.
I have champions? Oh, right. That people just call me that as a slur. Got it.
The last champion of Vivian.
The Phoenix, yes.
You're online. Are you telling me that your god's last champion might be able to fast forward us to after the Maw eats everything, and then we can just undo it all?
She is cool. Would I know who that is?
Your god is so cool.
You would know that it's Serial. She's an elven woman who was one of the people who fought Vecna.
Does she float in milk?
No.
I believe it starts with an S.
Serial with an S. The template for every horny spy. Played by Hip.
Austin Powers.
Vivian is based on his Starfinder character, who was a hooker spy. And the captain of our ship for some reason, which gave us a great reputation around the galaxy.
I bet it did.
And all the himbos I have in here are based on the first character I ever played in an RPG game, the Amnesiac Space Marine Rick.
Ice Marine!
That was like a less angry Doom guy.
Yep. Although, because he was amnesiac, he had a notebook that he'd write, like 51st Dates, the video they make her watch.
Oh, like Memento.
Yeah, and so he'd read it every day and learn that his husband died. And then he'd get to the end of the book and realize, I'm dating an android lady. And so...
Upgrade, honestly.
Yeah. And then he remembered her for 3 straight days, and so they got married.
Nice.
Which is ironic, considering that it should have been 3 by days. He used to have a husband.
Oh my god.
Zinga.
It's a high five moment right there.
Slap across the face moment, especially followed by fucking the Zinga. Holy
That's still a high
well,
five.
a slap is just a high five, only I'm not using my hand, I'm using my face, so who really wins here? Me, that's right, I win.
Charlotte, when my soldiers say something stupid, I tell them to high five themselves in the face.
I love it.
Face.
Based knowledge.
Based on what?
Oh my god.
I find it quite simple, actually.
You're telling me a gingerbread this man?
Jesus Christ.
This is why I didn't bring my boss.
Did shrimp fry these rice?
Those shrimp bastards are gonna pay for frying my rice.
Mm-hmm. Alright,
Imagine, if you will.
but the
Do-do-do-do.
librarian
Texas is
warns you.
underwater.
Oh, what?
I said Texas is underwater.
Oh, it
Wait.
finally stopped raining at my
Yes.
house. Now it's just fucking humid in here.
It's just
one
raining
quick
words
thing.
here.
I feel like with the fear and darkness of all this, with the water coming from the Great Agwe, the day that Papa Gay overpowers Erzuli, and the plants of Asaka are washed away by Agwe is the day that the Great Island shall know no further. That is, I believe, Haitian mythology of today's Pale's Apocalypse of the Day.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Oh.
What's
so
the
basically,
Hebrew word
why
of the
he's
day?
gonna think.
The Hebrew word of the day is future Bailey. Take that out. It means Arabic and Hebrew. It was
Nice.
just the first thing that came to mind.
Nice.
I'm on a server with some friends of mine, and they roll. We have it's like a waifu bot, where basically you roll you like enter a command and it'll roll a random character based off of like either from a game or an anime or manga. And one of the series that got rolled was called Japanoschlampen. I was like, I know that's German, and I'm assuming Japano means Japanese. What does Schlampen mean? And my friends were like, yeah, what does that mean? And I was like, give me a sec, I gotta think on it. I remember that Schlampen means like whore, but the fact that it ends in an en means like the act of. And I was like, well, I have bad news in what that translates to, guys.
It's a way to make money.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. You know,
this profession.
So true.
Language is beautiful.
Especially German, because it's so simple.
That's one way to put it, you know. The Germans have always been efficient.
Yeah, you just you put words together and then you're done.
Yep.
You don't gotta think of new words because you already have words that work.
Oh my goodness.
You know,
Mr. Bailey, please cut that out, please.
Yeah. I love Russian because it's pronounced just how it's spelled, if you can fucking spell it. But
I don't want to learn a whole ass new alphabet, dude. I still have trouble knowing my own.
I write occasionally, like if I'm really tired, I'll write R's backwards, like capital R's backwards, because that's how they are. That's how you say ya, which is like I. In Russian, it's a backwards R. And then I'll write N's backward. I can never remember which way N's go, because N is the, like, E sound in Russian, so I will write, and they're like, why do you fucking have your N's backwards? And I'm like, I don't know. And it's...
I think I've told you this before, where a few of my friends, we knew how to write in Hebrew. We don't know how to speak Hebrew, but we knew how to write in it, and we'd write each other messages in English spelled with Hebrew letters, and it was completely incomprehensible to everyone except us, because it was not either language. It was fantastic.
Nice.
I catch myself sometimes, like, reading sentences back in German to me. Or, like, I'll catch myself, like, instead of putting and, just putting and then, like, wait a minute. And just complete the circle for the A.
Yeah, learning other alphabets and such can just be the worst sometimes. And just symbols and, honestly, speech and higher functioning thought were mistakes.
Agreed.
So true. I want to go back to the slime.
Go back to being a crab.
Kale is awkwardly flirting with the spider.
So, how sticky them webs get.
She'll warn you. She says, whenever history is rewritten, people forget the time before. So, like, when something's written over itself, no one remembers that it even happened.
You trying to make something real memorable?
Makeup.
He already did.
Oh, Jesus.
I already did.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Oh.
Remember, my Chris was a -1, so that's a 1.
Hold on.
Wow.
Imagine if I had an actual modifier that positively modified. That would have been terrifying.
Lady killer.
It says, make something memorable?
I'll be back after Leo probably kills my girlfriend, because he doesn't happen to doing that. I don't know that.
As a chronicler, memories are very important to me. What do you mean?
I mean, we have to go.
Oh. Okay. Keep track of your library cards. Please don't lose the book before you return it.
Specifically, what does the library card look like? Is it just my name? Or is there like a little picture of me?
I don't think she has a camera, so it's probably just your name, and then it's got like a few wraps of spider silk around it, and then it says Ildor Avarice's Temple of Time Library.
I'd just like attach that to my armor.
Yeah, slide it in somewhere.
Hey, wait,
I'd like to put it right on my, like, I'm a robot, so I don't have a pectoral, but like on my right pectoral.
Okay.
And just have that sink into my chest.
That's terrifying.
Like get a tattoo of your library card?
Pretty much, yeah, only I can just take it out whenever I want.
Okay, yeah, you put it in some kind
Put
of
it-
slot.
Put it backwards so it can't be read.
Smart. They can't steal your identity.
I do not think they could impersonate me.
It's not about impersonating. If we go back to the Feywild, you don't want to give them your name.
They cannot steal my name. Bastion is the simplest
It's not-
translation of my name.
It's not the stealing of your name, it's the knowing your name to contract you to something.
I mean, you
I don't
do
think
still
Bash-
have the rune of your names, like, on your chest, right?
Technically, yeah, but no one can read it, right?
I mean, only you and Gond know.
I mean, yeah,
what language
other
it
than
is.
the two people who speak that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I kind of already have the translation of what it is. Yeah, I don't think Bastion knows enough about Fae to know if that's true. But, yeah, Bastion will look at Carolina and just say, I think I will be okay.
Okay. If you're fine, I'm fine.
They would be sealing the name given to me by a god. I do not think that would be easy.
Okay. Apocalypses?
Yes. She goes through. Let me see. I'm scrolling through my history. She tells
The
you about
spider's glitching.
what?
The spider's glitching.
Oh. She tells you about the Underwar, one of the, I don't remember if it's 6 or if it's 7 wars that have ever happened on the material plane, because it's very small, the material plane. So there's been very few wars because there's only 35 million people, so it's not like, yeah. So the Underwar, it was a war in the Underdark that the Surface Dwellers didn't even know about until it was over. Like Mind Flayers versus Drow, like they were fighting over who got to enslave the Draugr in that area. And like the Drow at one point like destroyed one of the Elder Brains, and so the Mind Flayers went back in time to reverse that and thwart their like invasion plan or whatever. But they like did it wrong, kind of, because they are like a hive mind, and so they almost like stuck themselves in a loop that affected like the surface also, and being that it was like the Elder Brains, so they had to go back in time and it made too many like recursive loops, and so Mechanist had to like step in and pick one of the timelines to be the main one, because otherwise the like, you know, fabric of space and time would have like collapsed in a big knot. What other apocalypses would have gone? Obviously the Undeath War, which is the first war ever between when Vecna and the woman who became the Raven Queen were still mortal, when they were fighting each other. Like when they both ascended to godhood at the same time, which, if done incorrectly or like too close to the beam or something, could have disrupted the beam, and of course caused a kind of a black hole scenario. But then there's a guy who was also immortal who became a god at that time named Saint Cuthbert. He's the god of like peace, friendship, and cooperation, and he was able to sort of convince them to do it separately and then come fight each other instead of ascending right next to each other and creating, you know, a burst of energy so large it would have torn shit in half. Then, of course, the first time that, like, elves jump through the beam from the Feywild to the material plane, they're the first, you know, it's like the first occasion of plane shifting, kind of, because the plane shifting spell hadn't been created yet, so the only way to travel between planes was to go through the beam, and the elves were the first to do it, like, even before demons and everything else. And so when they did it, they planned on like bringing a lot of like Elder Fae and like Archfae with them, which would have been too much power at the same time, which would have disrupted the beam and kind of made it a rocky place to be for a while. And so they didn't. They just brought kind of lower Fae, and like half of them got lost because no one had jumped through the beam before, and you have to kind of know where you're going in order to end up in the right place.
Must have been lieutenants.
Perhaps. Oh, because they get lost. That's funny. Yeah.
Can't spell lost without LT.
Oh my god. Yeah. What other? And then there's like the kind of the Pelorian Crusades, which would have kind of been a pseudo-apocalypse because Pelor would have stolen every soul from every other god, and there'd been no gods except for him. And then things would have collapsed very quickly without those things being regulated. And so that was kind of an apocalypse. That Vivian's ascension, there was a very small time skip then, but then the kind of influence of her helping to end the tide of Pelorians saved the world from that apocalypse.
Would we be able to go forward and look at the other apocalypses and come back and stop them?
You can certainly try.
Would we be able to go backwards and see how they were stopped?
You know she tells you, you know that one theater play, Back to the Future?
Yeah, that one arc where Martinez is nearly bedded by his own kin was quite odd to include in a children's play.
It was.
Agreed.
And a horse-drawn carriage going 88 miles an hour, the absurd way the doors open or not.
You use miles here in the Mechanist Brain? Weird.
Well, Ildor Avarice is a dwarf, and only elves use the kilometer system.
You're right. I hate kilometers.
Yes.
So it's like we wouldn't know it because it didn't happen because it didn't happen because it happened, but then it didn't?
Yes. Is there anything else you all would like to know?
Man, I had a question and totally lost it.
Oh no.
Oh, you wouldn't happen to have a map of the library, would you?
Well, I don't need a map, because I could just know where it is, but I could draw you one.
Yes, please. That'd be great.
Okay. She pulls a blank piece of paper out and gets to work on a, she has to, like, lick the pen a few times. You know, like old people do? They have to lick the corners of every single piece of paper they touch.
Yes.
It drives me fucking insane. Hey, it's your DM, Bailey Ford. I would like to thank our regular players, Charlotte, Matt, Darian, and Ian, Hip for our cover art, and Tabletop Audio for our background music. You can find us on Twitter at @Illithids, and thank you especially for listening.
It's like, yeah, I've heard that before.
You gotta go. I'm sorry, Charlotte.
Bye.
Sarah.
Bye.
I have to go because
still-
I'm sleepy, but I'm going to go to bed, and then next time I'm going to punch another...
Puts the lotion in the basket.
I haven't even punched Ildor Avarice. I have to punch him. I have to punch every champion I see, except for Steven. He doesn't deserve it. He's been through enough.
Okay.
But peace out, Cub Scouts.
Bye.
I'm also heading out.
Cool.
Au revoir.
Alrighty.
Bye. Yeah, I'll see you in about 10 minutes, Darian.
Yep.